Welcome, everybody, to Midday Magazine for this Friday, November 1st, 2024. I have your host, James J. Malouf, here today, and we're going to talk with our good friend, Ronda James, with the ADRC of Central Wisconsin. She is a nutrition program director over there. Rhonda, always appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Good morning on this bright and crispy November morning.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Just to kick off November, and it's a great way to do it with our friends at the ADRC. Rhonda, before we dive into some of the services that are offered for our clients and our people, our community, really, can we just touch on real quick, when we say the ADRC of Central Wisconsin, what is the range of what the area you guys cover?
Right. It's a pretty large region. Aging and Disability Resource Center of Central Wisconsin covers Wood County, and that also includes Marathon County, and then Lincoln and Langlade counties. So Antigo, Merrill, Wausau, and Wood County, Wisconsin Rapids, Marshfield.
So a pretty big portion of to cover for our ADRC.
It is a big area, and we work really hard to consider all the residents within our four county border, to make sure that they have access to and are aware of the different services we offer.
And if I can say, you guys do an amazing job at it. The years I've been doing this job, I've heard only good things about the ADRC and all the good work that they have done and been able to help our communities with. It's greatly appreciated. It's part of what we love having you guys on the air to talk about. We love highlighting the services and classes and events you guys do. We also love the chance to be able to let you know how much we appreciate you. And that's not coming. I am more of a megaphone for the community. I am repeating what I hear all the time in our communities. And some of those services that we're thankful for, we're going to talk about today. And I bring up the coverage area and the amount of things that are on your guys' plate, no pun intended, because we are looking for volunteers and we are looking for help from Meals on Wheels.
You bet. So in our large service area in the city or rural, we are looking for ways to get Meals on Wheels delivered to people who are 60 and older and mostly homebound, not able to prepare meals for themselves. And so that looks different in different locations, but one of the things that ties it all together is the obvious, the food. But what really makes it happen is our team of staff and volunteers. There is simply no way we could serve 150,000 meals in a year without the hands and hearts and smiles of our volunteers.
Yeah, and we greatly appreciate the people that do this. And when we talk about Meals on Wheels and the services that this offers, let's provide, it does this in three unique ways, Rhonda.
Mm-hmm. The Meals on Wheels?
Yes, yeah. Meals for Seniors provides three different ways of being able to help our seniors. There's Meals on Wheels we touched on. There's Cafe 60 as well.
Right. We have Cafe 60 that serves seniors 60 plus a healthy, balanced meal at a restaurant location where we contract with the restaurant owner. And we have two locations at the moment, and they are in Stratford, rural Marathon County, and then on the west side of Wausau, Vino Latte Cafe.
Excellent. And there is senior dining that is available as well.
And senior dining, which, I think the majority of your listeners are in the Wisconsin Rapids and beyond that city. And so senior dining, we serve adults that are age 60 and older and their spouse, no matter their age, a balanced meal at lunchtime in two different locations in the Wisconsin Rapids area. So Centralia Center in Wisconsin Rapids, it's connected to the sort of all part of the Lowell Center and Park Place Adult Day Services. Far end of the building from the VA clinic.
Right on.
And then we serve meals also at Nakusa Community Center. And then we serve at 2nd Street Community Center in Marshfield.
Thank you for that, Rhonda. Appreciate it. When we talk, I want to talk about what Meals on Wheels is and how you out there can help and be a part of it. But before we do, I do want to, we don't get a chance to touch on this part of it very often. We put a lot of our focus on looking for volunteers, and understandably so. But Rhonda, if there's somebody out there listening that could benefit from Meals on Wheels, but they're not a part of the rotation, if you will, can they be a part of it? Can they find out more about it?
Absolutely. The best way to get started with talking with our team about Meals on Wheels services is by calling us. And our toll-free number is the best way to reach us. And that toll-free number is 888-486-9545.
We'll make sure to get that information out there again before we wrap up. But thank you for that, Rhonda. Certainly anybody out there that's listening that could be benefited by Meals on Wheels wants you to reach out and be a part of the rotation. And certainly we need people to help deliver those meals. Volunteers for this are always in need. And you know, I want to talk about what the volunteering process is like for individuals doing this, but I do have to say that there are very few things that I can say unabashedly you are going to feel good from, that without question you are going to enjoy and are going to be a good use of your time. And Meals on Wheels is one of those, way at the top of the list for me as far as volunteer opportunities that can be just as invigorating and encouraging as doing them as it is receiving. And Meals on Wheels is one of these where you benefit just as much as the clientele does.
100%. I feel that energy from you because I know you have delivered Meals on Wheels in the past. Yeah. And we hear that from our volunteers. It gets me out of the house. A lot of our volunteers say, it gets me out of the house, and maybe I'm really busy, but I can commit 2 hours of my week. It's not much time for me. I can commit 2 hours of a week, 2 hours a month. Mm-hmm. You know, we look to each volunteer to talk with us about what they can commit for time and then make arrangements. And I hear a lot from our volunteers that not only do they enjoy being part of something bigger than even just their community. I mean, that connection to the community is quite meaningful to our volunteers. They also build connection to one another, though, as volunteers, and we often see new friendships develop.
You know, one of the things that I hear from people so often is, I want to put into my community, I want to give back, but I don't have a lot of money or I don't have a lot of time. And I almost every single person will bring up Meals on Wheels to them, because for that person out there, boy, do we got the volunteer opportunity for you. I think especially to those out there who haven't volunteered a lot or maybe haven't done it in a long time or something, sometimes we think of, well, I want to volunteer for this, and we approach it like it's a job. And okay, well, they're going to want me for 8 hours a day doing this, and this every day, Monday through Friday. And it's not like that, especially with Meals on Wheels, where, as Rhonda was saying, they want to work with you. They will work with your schedule, whatever your freedom is. If there's availability there, we'll find a way to make it work.
Yes, and we do just that. We have some volunteers who do come in 5 days a week, but that is not our expectation of those who are willing to jump in. A lot of our volunteers will choose 1 day a week that works for them and learn one of the delivery routes and put themselves on the schedule for once a week. And, they come into the kitchen around 10:30 to pick up the meals for delivery, and they're done at the latest by noon. We do have one route out of our Wisconsin Rapids and our Marshfield locations that is a little bit shorter. So it's designed for someone who only has about an hour to come and get the meals, deliver them, and return with the delivery bags within their lunch hour.
That's a great example right there.
Yeah, it's really neat to see. Sometimes just individuals that do, they come in on their lunch hour themselves and deliver meals and get back to their day. They eke out the time for that. And then we also see some businesses who, as an organization, choose to say, we are going to deliver a route of Meals on Wheels every other Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays a month. That's what we can commit to. So we schedule around that and make sure it's a time frame that fits for them. And I've heard some really neat stories from coworkers who do that as a team, maybe not always together. It's usually just one at a time. But the partnerships even that they develop as coworkers within their workplace, it's fun to hear those stories.
Yeah.
And that engagement they have with the customers in the community.
It's got to be such a great way for the individuals in that business to take a little more pride in their business and their community. Another extension of something to enjoy during the job or during the workday. And on a economic aspect of it, if you are a business, there are very few things that you can get more bang for your buck PR-wise than working with your nonprofits and especially Meals on Wheels or anything. Everybody in marketing, any business out there is certainly got a marketing department or looks into this. And while we want you to hopefully do these things because your heart, your soul are pulling you to, if I can't reach those, I bet I can reach your wallet and I bet I can reach your marketing team. And there are few things that are going to benefit you better. There is no price you can put on the PR benefit you get from working with the nonprofits, for working with Meals on Wheels. So hopefully one of these things encourages you to do this and be a part of this and help our ADRC and help our community out there, our individuals out there that could use these. The individuals that need these meals are trailblazers. They are the reason we're here right now. They have paved the way for us. It's a way for us to be able to give back to that and also to have a great experience ourselves. Ronda, you mentioned that I've mentioned that I've done this before, and I brought this up a couple of times, but I haven't gotten into a lot of details about why I did this. And while I did this Meals on Wheels in California, the model is the same here. And I think a lot of you out there might be surprised at how much Californians and Wisconsins have in common, especially when it comes to seniors. And in the isolation that can exist with that, and the being alone. I was working with Special Olympics, and that was wrapping up, and I was looking for something to give back to the area in California that I was staying. I appreciated it. I wanted to give something back, but I'm an actor. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a lot of free time, and I had no transportation. I was using public transportation. I had a friend suggest to me that worked with Meals on Wheels and saying, hey, this might be something you could do. And I told them right away, well, I don't have a lot of time and I don't have a car. I don't like, well, we can work with that. And they worked with me, and they found something that was on the bus line, the bus line for me, a house an individual that I could go to. And so I would get the meal, and I would carry it on the bus with me to this individual's home. And then I did this again for another person once I got a hand on the route and everything. And it was a little bit, nerve-wracking, to be honest, of being on public transportation with this meal and some of that. But once I started doing it, it became a part of my not daily routine, but my weekly routine. And to be honest with everybody, I started dealing with a lot of isolation when I was out in California. I didn't have any family or friends out there. I was just out there on my own, and I needed something. And I think that, in fact, I know that I was benefited from this as much as the individuals that I was delivering meals to. That isolation that I was feeling, they knew something that times 100. And they gave me a perspective and gave me some understanding of this that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Wow.
It's just my experience, and there are 100,000 examples of this out there that are maybe something that you can relate to out there. But certainly, one thing I think that all of us can relate to is that idea of wanting to not be isolated and feeling for people that are. And this is where you can so much be a part of things and really benefit your community by being part of Meals on Wheels.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. It has a different twist from central Wisconsin. I don't know that we have anyone delivering meals using public transportation.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it can't be done. Mm-hmm. And what a gift you were to those that you delivered to, just like our volunteers are, for those who package the meals in the kitchen and those who deliver them and do all the things in between. They see the benefit, and there's a give and give between the customer receiving the meal and the person delivering it to them. There's a benefit both ways. There's stories that are shared, and for those who maybe aren't interested in talking a whole lot, a smile between two people goes a long way.
Yeah, yeah. It's well said, very well said. And maybe you are. We certainly are really looking for people to be able to deliver these meals, but we're also looking for volunteers for other things too. And if you are interested in that, there are certainly opportunities in other aspects of ADRC to volunteer.
Right, there are. The meals get ready to go out the door for delivery with the volunteers we've been talking about, and the food doesn't hop in the packaging itself. It's a lot of hand, and it's a nice, organized, well-oiled machine with a lot of amazing people that show up in the morning to take the food and make it look like a presentable meal in a sealed container and get it all organized. That is a team of people we're always looking for an extra hand to help, and they do all the work before the food goes out on the road.
Mm-hmm. Rhonda, one of the things that we appreciate with our ADRC is certainly the things we've touched on here. But as we're wrapping up, I do want to remind the audience that there are so many other things the ADRC does in your community, and you could reach out to them if you have needs with whether it is senior or adults with diabetes, or if we're talking about dementia support services or support for caregivers. There are classes for healthy living. There is equipment lending. We don't have nearly enough time to talk about all the things you guys do over there.
Right, absolutely. I think one of the easiest ways to get a good variety of knowledge about what we offer in all of our communities is to pick up a copy of our Choices publication that is out in the community. I think the local library, some gas stations may have it, grocery stores are much more likely, or just stop at the ADRC office or a senior dining site. You'll see the menu, which will probably make you hungry and want to join us for a senior dining meal. But it shows you all of those other things and provides education about caregiving, living with dementia, just every month a variety of information. This month actually is November, and our November publication has an article titled "The Ripple Effect of Gratitude and Volunteering." And I encourage people to check it out either in our written monthly publication called Choices, or they can go to our website and read it. And should I share the website with the listeners?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So it's pretty simple, adrc-cw.org.
Encourage you to bookmark that as well, everybody. It's a great way to keep up on things. But do take that warning to heart, because as Rhonda was saying that, I was getting hungry just as you were saying that, Rhonda. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It definitely did get me hungry. And all the things we've talked about here not only give you an example of the volunteer opportunities, but certainly the services and events that go on with our ADRC monthly. They have a wonderful calendar on there that you can see that lays everything out for you perfectly. The website couldn't be more easy to use. It's a wonderful website. I encourage you to check that out. And certainly to anybody in need, especially I feel like it's almost a monthly thing, Rhonda, where I talk to people that were like me years and years ago when I first started talking with you all and didn't realize I was a caregiver. I talk to so many individuals out there that are dealing with that or in those situations. You have such an amazing resource in your area or near your area with your local ADRC. Wherever you're listening to us, encourage you to reach out to the ADRC. And you may think, well, I don't know what to ask, or I don't know how to approach this or how to start. I didn't either. And I just simply brought up, I didn't, what I just said there, and that got the ball rolling and broke the ice. And it just opened up so many avenues for me and my family. I cannot encourage you enough to reach out to DDRC. And again, it doesn't have to be a question. It could just be a conversation.
Absolutely. A comment. I am not sure where to start. I'm thinking of so many things to support my mom living in her home.
Yeah.
That could be a starting conversation.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
Our staff are trained to talk through that.
Mm-hmm. And that the information of how to reach you, Rhonda, if we could get that out there one more time.
Right. Calling us at our toll-free number, 888-486-9545. And our website is pretty robust. It's going to be undergoing some construction next year, but it has lots of information right now. And it's ADRC-CW.org.
Rhonda, thank you so much to you and your staff, what you guys do in our community, and joining us on the air here today. Appreciate you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thanks, James.
Thank you. You have a great day and a good weekend.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to all of our guests that joined us this week, all of our representatives, all of our nonprofits, so many people that make this community so amazing and make this show so much fun to do. And a special shout out to Pam Hilke, the amazing scheduling she does week in and week out. We appreciate you, Pam, heart of this station. We'll have more for you next week right here at 97.5 FM, 1320 AM, WFHR. We are locally grown radio.